The smell of orange blossoms fills the air. Salt from the sea blows in through the windows. I'm standing in front of a mirror in my grandmother's bedroom. I barely recognize the girl looking back at me. The wedding dress is beautiful, cream-colored silk, lace that took 6 months to make by hand. My aunt walks over and fixes my veil. Perfect. She whispers. Her hands shake a little. We're all nervous, but we can't say it out loud. A Sicilian bride should be modest, quiet, grateful. That's what we learn from childhood. I've played this role so long, it feels real now. I'm the quiet daughter, the obedient niece, the invisible woman who only exists to serve her family. But they don't know what's inside me. My aunt sits down next to me. The Rossi family is very powerful. She says quietly, Vincent will be their leader someday. You understand what this means, don't you? I understand perfectly. I'm like a chess piece. They're moving me into position to make an alliance. My family has money and connections. The Rosses have power and control over territories. Together we'll be unstoppable, or that's what they think. Yes, I whisper, I will honor our family. She kisses both my cheeks. She's relieved now. She leaves the room. But I'm alone with the truth. I'll need more than God's blessing for what I'm about to do. The church is packed with hundreds of people. Men in expensive suits. Crime bosses from all over Sicily. They whisper to each other. They make business deals. Even in God's house, they never stop working. My father waits at the chapel door. He's holding his emotions in, but I can see it. This marriage matters to him more than he wanted to admit. My family is losing power to rival criminals. We need the Rosses. Without them, we're nothing. He offers his arm, ready. He asks, I take it. We start walking down the aisle. People watch me. They're judging, calculating my worth. I keep my face calm, my steps measured, my breathing controlled. And there he is, Vincent Rossi. I've seen photos before, grainy pictures, formal portraits, but nothing prepared me for the real person. He's almost 6.5 feet tall. His shoulders fill out a custom suit perfectly. His dark hair is swept back from his face. His jaw is strong, his nose is sharp. His lips are pressed into a hard line, but his eyes, that's what stops me. They're dark brown, almost black. They watch me walk toward him with such intensity that it feels dangerous. And there's something else in those eyes, curiosity, good. Let him be curious, that will help my plan. My father places my hand in Vincent's. His grip is firm, possessive. His palm is warm against my cold fingers. He looks down at me. I force myself to meet his eyes for just a moment before looking away. In that quick look, I see him studying me. The dark hair pinned up carefully. The green eyes I got from my Irish grandmother. My delicate features that make me look younger than I am. I'm small next to him, barely reaching his chest even in high heels. Fragile looking, perfect camouflage. The priest starts the ceremony in Latin. His old voice fills the church. I respond automatically. My mind is somewhere else. Around us, the congregation shifts and coughs. They whisper. I catch pieces of their conversations. Business deals being made. Territorial disputes being settled. Even here, even now, the crime world never stops turning. The priest asks Vincent his question. His voice is deep, certain, no hesitation, no doubt. He was raised to take what he wants. To command without question, to rule with an iron fist. The priest looks at me. Do you take him? I wait a heartbeat too long. A moment too long. Vincent's grip on my hand tightens just a little. My father shifts his weight beside me. I can feel doubt ripple through everyone watching. Then I smile, sweet, soft, like a happy bride. I do. I whisper. Everyone relaxes. The priest blesses the rings. Heavy gold bands that mean we're bound to each other now. Vincent slides my ring onto my finger with careful attention. His dark eyes never leave my face. When I put his ring on, my fingers barely shake. Another small victory. What God has joined together, let no man tear apart. The priest says, the irony isn't lost on me. God has nothing to do with this union. This is about power, territory, blood. This is about everything I'm going to destroy. I now present to you husband and wife. The priest announces. Vincent's hands come up and frame my face. His touch is surprisingly gentle. For a moment, I see something flicker in his eyes. It's not just possessiveness. It's genuine curiosity. Then his mouth finds mine. The kiss is carefully calculated for our audience. Not too passionate, not too cold. Perfect. When he pulls back, his thumb brushes my cheekbone. The gesture looks affectionate to anyone watching. But I feel the assessment in it, the claiming. My wife. He murmurs. My husband. I reply softly. The church erupts in applause. The party happens at the Rossi estate. It's beautiful. Acres of gardens. Ancient olive trees. Terraces with vineyards. The main house is from the 15th century, but with modern luxury inside. Marble floors, paintings that are worth millions. Everything screams old money and power. This is my prison now, but also my battlefield. Hundreds of guests fill the gardens. Champagne flows freely. Tables are loaded with food. Roasted lamb, fresh pasta, local cheeses, seafood. A band plays traditional music. Older couples dance. I sit at the head table next to Vincent. I smile. I nod. I accept congratulations. His hand rests on my knee under the tablecloth. It's possessive but disguised as affection. I don't pull away. You're very quiet. He observes quietly. I turn to him with wide eyes. I let a moment of vulnerability show. It's overwhelming. I say, so many people. You'll get used to it, he says. Not a comfort, just a statement. As my wife, you'll be expected at many gatherings. Family business requires social presence. Of course, I lower my gaze. I will do my duty. Something shifts in his expression, approval or satisfaction that I'm complying. Don Vittorio, Vincent's father, approaches our table. The old man is in his 70s, but he still commands respect through sheer force of will. His dark hair has turned silver. His face is lined with decades of hard decisions, but his eyes are still sharp. Welcome to the family, he says. His gravelly voice carries across the table. You're a beautiful girl. You'll give my son many grandchildren. The assumption makes my jaw tighten. But I keep my smile in place. Yes, I reply, if God wills it. He laughs. It's harsh, no real warmth. God has little to do with this. He claps Vincent on the shoulder. Take her home soon. It's time to consummate this marriage. Heat floods my cheeks. Not from embarrassment, from rage at being discussed like breeding stock. Vincent's hand tightens on my knee. A silent message. Behave, I will. For now, as the sun sets, painting the sky orange and purple, the guests begin leaving. Finally, blessedly, we're alone. Vincent leads me through the villa, up a grand staircase, to the 3rd floor. Our rooms, or rather his rooms, that I'll now share. The master suite is massive, dominated by a 4-poster bed that looks like it's witnessed generations of Rossi marriages. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the sea. Moonlight casts silver paths across the dark water. Your things have been moved here, Vincent says. He shrugs out of his jacket, loosens his tie. The closet on the left is yours, the bathroom as well. I nod and move to the window. My reflection stares back at me, still in the wedding dress, the veil removed. My carefully styled hair coming loose. I look like a ghost, pale and insubstantial against the darkness. Mona, he says. I turn. Vincent stands in the center of the room. His shirt is partially unbuttoned. His tie is on the floor. Even in this casual state, he radiates power. Come here, he says. It's not a request. I cross to him slowly. My expression stays neutral. When I stand before him, He reaches out. His fingers find the first button at the back of my dress. "I know this wasn't your choice," he says quietly. His breath is warm against my neck as he works the buttons. "Neither of us chose this. But we're bound now. What we make of it is up to us." The dress loosens. Silk slides against my skin. "What do you want to make of it?" I ask. His hands stall. The dress falls away, pooling at my feet. I'm left in just my undergarments. Vincent's gaze travels over me with frank appreciation, but also something else. Consideration. "I don't expect love. I don't even require it," he says slowly, "but I do expect loyalty. Absolute loyalty. Can you give me that?" I meet his eyes steadily. "Can you give me the same?" I ask. A slow smile curves his lips. "You're not what I expected," he says. "What did you expect?" I challenge, someone more afraid. Someone who would simply accept whatever I chose to give her. I let him see a flash of steel. Just a glimpse. "I am a Lucasi daughter. We don't frighten easily." He traces a finger along my collarbone. The touch is deliberate. Possessive, no. He agrees. I'm beginning to see that. His kiss is different this time. Less calculated, more searching. I respond carefully, walking the line between submission and challenge. He needs to believe I can be molded to his will. He needs to underestimate me just a little longer. When he finally releases me, his breathing has quickened. "You're beautiful," he murmurs, "and all mine, yours." I agree softly. But I hold one truth close to my heart. I'm no one's, not anymore, and soon the whole world will know it. The first week of marriage is like a dance. Every move planned, every step calculated. I wake each morning in Vincent's bed. His arm is heavy across my waist. His breathing is deep and even against my neck. I lie still, counting his heartbeats, memorizing the rhythm of his sleep. Knowledge is power, and I'm collecting every scrap I can find. By day, I play the perfect wife. I dress in clothes his mother selected. Elegant, modest dresses in muted colors. Pearls at my throat. My hair styled perfectly. I take my meals when summoned. I smile when appropriate. I speak only when addressed. I attend the women's gatherings where the older ladies gossip over coffee and pastries. Their conversations are a delicate balance of social niceties and veiled threats. They watch me constantly. They're assessing whether I'll uphold the old ways, whether I understand the unspoken rules that govern our world. The code doesn't just apply to the men. It binds us all. We know things, we see things, but we never speak. Not to outsiders, not to authorities, not even to each other when it truly matters. One afternoon, Vincent's mother asks me how I'm settling in. We're sitting in the villa's sunroom. I keep my eyes on my embroidery, a handkerchief I've been working on all week. Busy hands, quiet mind, invisible presence. Everyone has been very kind. I reply softly. She studies me for a long moment. Her sharp eyes miss nothing. She was born into this life, married into it, raised sons for it. She knows every trick, every manipulation, every survival strategy a woman in our world could employ. A satisfied husband is a manageable husband, she says finally. Remember that. It's the closest thing to advice she'll ever give me, a small crack in the armor of propriety that binds us all. I file it away with everything else I'm learning. At night, alone with Vincent, the performance becomes more complex. He's an attentive lover, surprisingly so. I expected brutality, the casual violence that seems to permeate everything else in his world. Instead, I find careful attention, genuine interest in my pleasure. It's almost worse. This tenderness complicates the clean lines of my hatred. One night, he murmurs against my throat, "Tell me what you like." I could have lied, could have remained passive. But I'm building something here, a foundation that requires authenticity in unexpected places. So I tell him. I guide his hands. I let him discover that beneath my demure exterior lives a woman with desires of her own. His response is gratifying, a sharp intake of breath, a tightening of his grip on my hips, a low sound of approval that vibrates through his chest. You like that? I challenge softly, my nails raking down his back. In here with me, you don't have to be silent, he says. In here you can be real. The irony is devastating. He thinks this is real. These nights where I let pieces of myself show, where I meet his passion with my own. He has no idea it's all part of the performance, that every moan, every whispered word, every moment of apparent vulnerability is calculated. Or is it? That question haunts me in the quiet hours before dawn. How much is strategy, and how much is something else? Something dangerous that has no place in my plans. I push the thought away and focus on what matters. Information. The study becomes my hunting ground. While Vincent conducts business in the city, I slip inside, careful to leave everything exactly as I found it. The desk holds nothing of interest, just legitimate business documents, contracts for the family's olive oil exports, real estate holdings, but I know there has to be more. It takes me 3 days to find the hidden safe behind the portrait on the wall. Another 2 days to figure out the combination. His mother's birthday, a small sentimental detail I file away for future use. Inside, I find what I'm looking for. Ledgers detailing the family's true business, protection rackets, smuggling operations, political bribes, territorial boundaries negotiated in blood, names, dates, amounts, a roadmap of everything. I photograph every page with the small camera hidden in my lipstick case, a gift from my grandmother. She learned long ago that women need insurance policies. But it's the final document that makes my hands shake. A contract signed 6 months before our wedding. It details the terms of my marriage, the territories my father would give to the Rosses, the business partnerships that would be dissolved, the percentages of profits from various enterprises, and there, in cold legal language, my worth. 1 breeding age female, proven lineage, estimated 5 to 7 offspring. Not a daughter. Not a woman, not even a name, just livestock valued by reproductive capacity. Something cold and hard crystallizes in my chest. Whatever doubt I harbored, whatever softness Vincent's unexpected tenderness created, it shatters in that moment. They all agreed to this. My father, my uncles, the entire Lucasi clan. They reduced me to a commodity and sold me to the highest bidder. I will make them pay, all of them. That night, Vincent returns late from a meeting. In our world, that's code for something involving violence or illegality. He smells of cigarette smoke and expensive cologne. His jaw is tight with tension. Problem? I ask. I pour him a drink from the sideboard in our room. He accepts it, downs half in 1 swallow. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. I approach him slowly. My hands find the knots of tension in his shoulders. Can I help? I ask softly. No, he says, but he doesn't pull away from my touch. There are aspects of the business that are not for women, of course. I keep my voice soft and accepting. I only meant to ease your burden, not add to it. He turns, catching my wrists. His dark eyes search my face. What do you want, really? He demands. Tell me the truth. The question catches me off guard. In the 2 weeks since our marriage, no one has asked what I wanted. Not once. Peace, I say, and it's not entirely a lie. Safety, a home. Is that all? He asks. I meet his gaze steadily. What else is there for a woman like me? Something flickers across his face. Disappointment, or recognition of a cage he helped build. More than you think, he says quietly. If you wanted it, come. How? I ask, but he just shakes his head. Tomorrow, he says, we'll talk tomorrow. Except tomorrow never comes. I wake to shouting, the sharp crack of gunfire in the distance. Vincent is already out of bed, pulling on clothes with military efficiency. Stay here, he orders. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except me. What's happening? I ask. Go. He commands. Lock the door now. He's gone before I can respond. His footsteps thunder down the hallway. I rush to the window. Below, chaos erupts. Men running across the grounds. Muzzle flashes in the preed. On darkness, the sound of automatic weapons fire and attack. Someone is attacking the villa. I should hide, should cower under the bed, should do any of the things a proper wife would do. Instead, I dress quickly, pull my hair back, retrieve the small pistol hidden in my lingerie drawer. Another gift from my grandmother. She believed in being prepared. Then I do something reckless and entirely calculated. I leave the room. The villa is in lockdown, security flooding the hallways, but everyone is focused on the external threat. No one notices one small woman in a dark dress slipping through the shadows. I move toward Don Vittorio's study. I have perhaps 10 minutes before someone thinks to check on me. I use them well. The files I find confirm what I suspected. The Rossi family is hemorrhaging money. Bad investments, failed ventures, territories lost to rival families. They needed the Lucasi alliance not just for expansion, but for survival. My father knew this. He leveraged it to negotiate better terms. But there's something else. Something that makes my blood run cold. A list of names, women's names. Daughters of crime bosses married into the family over the last 50 years. Beside each name, a date of death. Some lasted years. Many didn't survive their first pregnancy. None lived to see 40. The Rossi men didn't just use their wives. They consumed them. I'm still staring at the list when the door bursts open. Vincent stands there, blood on his shirt. Fury in his eyes. What the hell are you doing? I could have lied, could have claimed I was lost, frightened, didn't know where I was. But something in his expression, the raw emotion beneath the anger, makes me choose truth. Learning what you won't tell me, I say calmly. I gesture to the open files about what this family really is. He crosses the room in 3 strides. His hand closes on my upper arm, firmly, not painfully, but firmly. You shouldn't be here. These are not things for you to know. Why? I challenge, holding up the list. Because I might object to becoming another name on this list. Another dead wife sacrificed to the great Rossi legacy. His eyes widen fractionally as he recognizes what I hold. Don't, he says. I pull away from his grip. Don't tell me this is different, that times have changed, that I'm safe. I point to the list. I've seen the pattern. I know how this ends. You don't know anything, he says. But there's uncertainty in his voice, the first crack in his absolute conviction. Then tell me. I demand. Tell me why your mother looks like she's 50 when she's barely 40. Tell me why your aunt died in childbirth with no baby to show for it. Tell me why every woman in this family walks around like a ghost. The gunfire outside has stopped. In the sudden silence, I can hear both our breathing. Harsh and rapid, everything we do, Vincent says finally, everything we are is governed by the code. Women are protected, provided for, honored. That's a lie, I say sharply. Women are used. We're ammunition in your wars, bargaining chips in your negotiations, vessels for your heirs. And when we're used up, we're discarded. Not you, he says. He steps closer. His hand comes up to touch my face with unexpected gentleness. I won't let that happen to you. You can't stop it, I say. And for once, I let him see real emotion. The rage, the fear, the absolute determination that's been building since my father told me I would marry a stranger. You're part of the machine, Vincent. You can't save me from something you help perpetuate. His thumb traces my cheekbone. His dark eyes search mine. What do you want me to do? He asks. It's the second time he's asked me what I want. This time, I tell him the truth. Burn it all down. I whisper. We stand there for a long moment. The air between us is charged with something far more dangerous than desire. Then from the hallway, voices. His father's men looking for their leader's son. We'll continue this later, Vincent says, releasing me. But something has shifted in his expression. Not agreement, not yet, but the first hint of possibility. I've planted a seed. Now, I just have to wait for it to grow. The attack on the villa changes everything. 3 men dead, 2 wounded, a message spray painted across the garden wall. Revenge is sweet. It reads, the Corleone asserting their claim to disputed territory. I sit through the emergency council meeting in Don Vittorio's study. I'm the only woman present, a break with tradition that raised eyebrows, but it can't be challenged. As Vincent's wife, I have the right to hear matters that affect our immediate household. The fact that I was found in Vittorio's office during the attack paradoxically legitimizes my presence. If I'd already seen the files, there's no point in keeping secrets. The Corleone are growing bolder. Don Vittorio growls. His fist strikes the mahogany desk. We must respond with force. We hit their holdings. Another man echoes. Burn their crops, make examples, start a war we can't afford. Wait, Vincent interrupts. His voice cuts through the rising fervor. He spreads financial documents across the table. Look at the numbers. We're overextended. Every retaliatory strike costs money we don't have. The Corleonesi know this. They're baiting us into bleeding ourselves dry. Silence falls. No one wants to acknowledge the family's financial precariousness. But the evidence is undeniable. Then what do you suggest? Don Vittorio demands coldly. That we surrender. No. Vincent's gaze finds mine across the room. It holds for just a fraction of a second. I suggest we change the game. Over the next 3 hours, I watch my husband reveal a strategic mind I'd underestimated. He proposes consolidation rather than expansion. Legitimate business ventures to replace failing illegal enterprises. Alliances with families the Rossis had previously disdained. It's radical, pragmatic, and absolutely contrary to every tradition the old guard holds sacred. They fight him on every point. I wait until the arguments reach a fever pitch, until voices are raised and old grudges resurface, until the meeting threatens to dissolve into chaos. Then I speak. Excuse me. I say quietly. Every head turns toward me. Vincent's eyes widen fractionally. With respect, I continue, keeping my tone deferential even as I wield the knife. I am new to these discussions, so perhaps I misunderstand, but it seems the question is not whether to respond to the Corleonesi provocation, but how to do so without destroying ourselves in process. I see grudging nods from several of the leaders. Perhaps. I say, we should consider what the Corleonesi actually want. They attack us, yes, but they don't press their advantage. They make noise but don't follow through. Why? Because they're cowards. One man spits, or because they want us to overreact. I suggest, they want us to spend resources we don't have, to create chaos that benefits them. What if we simply didn't? Don Vittorio's voice is dangerously soft. You suggest we show weakness. I suggest we show strength through restraint. I say. I move to the table. My finger traces a map of Sicily. The Corleonesi control the western territories. We control the east. There's a buffer zone here. Land that's in dispute. What if we offer to settle it, not through violence, but through negotiation? Give them what they want, in exchange for something we need more. Peace, stability, Time to reorganize our finances without the constant drain of conflict. The room erupts. Impossible. Someone shouts. Shameful. We cannot show weakness. Vincent remains silent. His expression is unreadable. Don Vittorio stands. His chair scrapes back loudly. Enough, he says. He turns to me, and I see something I hadn't expected in his hard eyes. Consideration. You would have us negotiate with our enemies. Give them what they want without a fight, he observes. I would have us survive. I say simply, survival requires pragmatism, not pride. You speak like a lawyer, he says. I corrected gently. I am a Rossi now, and I want to see my family thrive, not bleed to death maintaining traditions that no longer serve us. The words hang in the air. I've crossed a line, questioned the sacred traditions, suggested the old ways might be obsolete. I should have been dismissed, removed, reminded of my place. Instead, Don Vittorio laughs. It's harsh, devoid of humor, but it's not anger. She has courage. He says, addressing the room, your wife has more courage than half the men in this room. She does. Vincent agrees. His eyes never leave mine. Don Vittorio waves his hand dismissively. Explore this negotiation. But carefully. I want deniability if it fails. The meeting adjourns. The men file out with muttered comments, some approving, most skeptical. Luca, one of the senior men, gives me a look of pure venom as he passes. When we're alone, Vincent approaches me slowly. What you did in there was dangerous, he says quietly, but effective. He studies my face as though seeing me for the first time. Where did you learn to think like that? To manipulate a room full of hardened criminals? From watching, I say honestly, women aren't permitted to speak in your world. So we learn to observe. We see everything, every power play, every strategic move, every weakness hidden behind bravado. We just aren't allowed to acknowledge it. Until now, he says, until now. I agree. He circles me slowly, like a predator assessing prey, or perhaps like a man reassessing everything he thought he knew. You've been playing a role, he says, the quiet wife, the obedient daughter, but that's not who you really are. Is it? Does it matter? I challenge. You got what you wanted. A wife who won't embarrass you, who understands her place, who produces heirs, whether she's genuinely submissive or strategic about her survival. What difference does it make? Every difference, he says. He stops directly in front of me. His hand comes up, fingers threading through my hair with unexpected tenderness. A submissive wife is a possession, he says slowly. But a strategic partner, that's something I didn't know I needed. And if I want to be neither, I ask. If I want to burn your entire world down, I don't know what possessed me to say it, to reveal so much so soon. Perhaps it was the adrenaline from the meeting, or the intoxication of being truly heard for the first time in my life. Perhaps I was simply tired of lying. Then I suppose, he says slowly, the question is whether you want to burn it with me inside or beside you. My breath catches. You're not afraid of what I just admitted. I'm terrified, he says frankly. His thumb traces my lower lip. But also fascinated, intrigued, aroused. That's sick, I say. No. His smile is sharp and dangerous. But honesty is refreshing. I'm surrounded by lies every day. Everyone wants something from me, plays angles, manipulates. But you just told me you want to destroy everything I've built. That's either supreme confidence or supreme stupidity. Which do you think it is? Confidence, I say. He leans in. His lips are a breath away from mine. I find I quite like it. The kiss is different this time, not the controlled passion of our previous encounters, but something raw and desperate. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. Tell me, he demands. Tell me everything, what you really want, what you really think, who you really are beneath this perfect wife performance. So I do. We stay in that study until dawn, trading secrets like currency. I tell him about my grandmother, who smuggled information to the police for 20 years before being discovered and quietly eliminated. I tell him about my mother, who died giving birth to my younger brother, a brother who lived only 3 days, but whose brief existence secured my father's acceptance in the family. I tell him about growing up knowing I was livestock, bred for a specific purpose, watching my aunts and cousins disappear into marriages that consumed them. And I tell him my plan, not all of it. I'm not that foolish, but enough to test him, to see if the crack I'd sensed in his armor could become a fissure. I want to change this, I say, not through revolution or violence. That would only create chaos that harms everyone, but through erosion, small changes that add up over time, protection for women, legal rights, ways out of marriages that are essentially slavery, a gradual shift in how we view half our population. And you think I can help with this? Vincent's voice is carefully neutral. I'm about to become capo. My job is to uphold tradition, not dismantle it. Your job is to ensure your family's survival. I correct. And I'm telling you that the current system is unsustainable. You're bleeding young people to legitimate society because they see another way. You're hemorrhaging money because illegal enterprises draw more law enforcement attention. You're constantly at war because territorial disputes can't be resolved through legal channels. The old ways are dying, and you can either guide that death or be consumed by it. He's silent for a long moment. My father will never agree. He says finally, "Your father is old," I say. He won't be capo much longer. I hold his gaze steadily, but you will be. And when you are, you can choose to be the last of the old guard, or the first of something new. And you, he asks, what role do you see for yourself in this grand reformation? Your advisor. I say simply, your partner in rebuilding what's broken. Not your possession, but your equal. His laugh is sharp. Incredulous. Equality doesn't exist in our world. Then perhaps it's time it did. He stands abruptly, paces to the window where dawnlight is beginning to paint the sky in shades of rose and gold. I watch him struggle with everything I've said. Tradition, warring with pragmatism. Decades of conditioning, fighting against the evidence of his own experience. Finally, he turns back to me. One condition, he says. If we do this,